conversation. As most newspapers have reported, Chandrababu Naidu was in Delhi yesterday. He apparently, based on the statements that he's given, the media met with Rahul Gandhi while he was in New Delhi, and they've decided that the 22 non-BJP parties will have a meeting on the 21st of this month after all of the polling is done and before the results are out. He claimed also that they're considering a Gadbandhan. The question we're asking this evening, Tiwari, our consulting editor, along with Badshah Sen, Bharat Kumar Raut, Vivek Kaul, these opposition parties have the ability or the numbers to form any sort of government?
See, as of now, this is a prediction game. It all depends on how far they will reach, how far the BJP will reach, and how much room is open for the opposition parties to unite.
Yes.
If it is a useless situation, a hopeless situation, nobody will come forward. But if they come near about, then definitely people, they will, at least I remember, N.T. Ramarao had formed side to snatch power from from Congress that time. Did not see that. Only thing is, will he be able to do that?
Yes.
This is because if the photographs that you are showing,
yes,
all of them, each of them, is an aspirant of PMship.
Yes. In fact, let's just put that on the screen. So we have the NDA and the UPA allies, the ones who've declared themselves very clearly which side they're on. And then we have what are possible kingmakers, and that's this list. People who were not really sure which side they're on and how that might play out.
Are the kingmakers or aspirant kings?
Aspirant kings. I think in politics that's
situation hopeless means if the BJP comes closer to 272, closer to that, supposing say 250,
yes,
or something, then this unity has no meaning.
There's
no meaning. But if it is left far behind, say like 180, 190, then perhaps they can come forward. But here the main hurdle is, as you said, that the kingmakers, what we are showing now, that that each of them, there are 7, and say there are 7 PM aspirants plus Sharad Pawar is the PM aspirant.
Yes.
So there are many. So it is free for all then.
Let me actually just ask you about Sharad Pawar. Now, Mr. Pawar is obviously, there's a lot of buzz right now about the fact that he's a PM aspirant, but best case scenario, what will the NCP take out of Maharashtra? 10, 12, maybe more than that? Does it put them in any sort of position? In
my calculations, which are still
okay,
but if it crosses 15, then they have some hope. If they remain somewhere at 12, 13, then I don't think the Pawar can aspire to become the Prime Minister, because apart from Maharashtra, he has hardly any hope. Perhaps 1 or 2 seats in Bihar. One Lakshadweep last time he had won. So 4 or 5 seats like that. So with 15 seats, I don't think anybody can aspire to become the Prime Minister, even lead the front.
Yes. So Vinay, let's talk process. Obviously, after the election, this party, what happens after that?
Well, this is actually exactly what I was about to say. This whole movement that you see, especially the meeting 21st, is being done entirely because the opposition has this worry, and it's a genuine worry, that the president who has to call one particular party enjoys discretionary powers. And this is a race to go to Rashtrapati Bhavan and stake claim. They need to do that as quickly as they can once the results are being announced. Because
is there a rule that says the Rashtrapati or the president has to call the single largest party
first? No, they don't. And that is where the discretion comes in.
Yes.
And that is why you have precedences. You will see what, so my sense is they've learned from what happened, say for instance in Karnataka last year, where the JDS and Congress very obviously had an alliance and they declared it, but the BJP was the single largest party and they ended up inviting you and created a huge amount of uproar. If you remember, in '96, the same thing had happened. Mr. Vajpayee got a fractured mandate, but it was the single largest party. He got invited, but then couldn't prove the strength in the floor of the House. The government fell after 13 days. So you have presidencies like this. And
does it make sense for them to check the health of the fax machines in Russia?
I hope, yeah. So I hope they work after 5 p.m. like it didn't in Kashmir. But the point is, my sense is that they're doing it because they don't want to make the mistake of not running away straight. We are in an alliance post-poll, and we would be coming together to stake a claim. That is entirely possible, and I have a feeling this is what is playing on their mind, that the president may end up inviting just the single largest party and not giving them a chance.
So Vivek, basically what's happening is, as every bit of how they think they're going to do, so they all have a sense of where they're going to wind up ballpark, and they want to be able to tie in their understanding before the final day. Is that what this is?
Yes, and I mean that is true. In fact, Arvind Kejriwal made a very interesting point in an interview. I mean, I saw it only today in the morning, and in which he said that this election is not about who will be the next Prime Minister, but it is about essentially throwing out Amit Shah and Narendra Modi out of power.
Yes, he's been saying that a lot, yes.
So, I mean, so the thing again is that, you know, how much do all these opposition parties want Modi and Shah? It sort of makes sense to come together and make their stand.
But if it were that thing for them, shouldn't they have come together before polling?
Yeah, I mean, but then, you know,
I mean, their personal level.
Harder quite a lot because you lose the opportunity to contest. So a lot of parties contest separately and then come together, which is what happened in Karnataka last time in the assembly elections.
Yes.
This time they did a pre-poll, then there was no seat sharing. In a seat
And their
sharing,
cadre was upset.
Yeah, so
Yes.
in a seat sharing, you end up upsetting 50% of your party, both sides, which
Yes.
perhaps they didn't want to do.
Correct thing to contest seats as much as possible, and post-election you come closer. So that is possible. Here, I just wanted to give an anecdote of Kaul Chakdar. Kaul Chakdar is considered to be the Bible of parliamentary affairs.
Okay.
Okay. Kaul Chakdar clearly says that the president, to take the oath, because Kaul Chakdar says that what could be the president's consideration to provide, to invite a party which can give you reasonably stable government. The word reasonably is very, very important in this.
Yes.
So, culture does a reasonably stable government. So, if the president is satisfied that X, say for this battalion of 8 parties, if they can provide stable government, to go.
So it depends on the president's understanding. So bring in, Badshah Sen. Mr. Sen, the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying big things about, fighting Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah. But best case scenario, fighting 7 seats in Delhi, a couple in Haryana and Punjab. Is the Aam Aadmi Party even in consideration in an election of this size? Or is it just largely because Delhi receives more attention than perhaps it deserves in the terms of seats that it donates or sends to Parliament?
Faye, a few days ago when I was the prospective Prime Minister, since everybody's hat was in the ring, was Sharad Pawar. At which point of time, I don't remember who said that he will not have the numbers to do this. Now, I do believe that there are people in this group, meaning in the group of kingmakers, there are people who have the numbers. I know that certainly that Chandrasekhar Rao of Telangana is we will probably be quite prepared to make the transition from Hyderabad to Delhi, because he seems to have prepared his son to take over from him. But I don't see any of the other kingmakers, as you have portrayed on the screen, actually prepared to do so. I don't think Naveen Patnaik, for instance, even with the numbers, will want to move from Orissa and become one of the ministers, for instance, in New Delhi. So there is a problem, and in a situation like this, even if there is a person like Sharad Pawar, acceptable to a lot of people, non-threatening, because he's unlikely to dethrone anybody as a Prime Minister, even with a number of 5, or as now Mr. Raut has pointed out, even 15, in which case, of course, he has the numbers. So in this light, I do believe that there's going to be a lot of churning. For instance, I do not understand. Chandrababu Naidu has talked to Rahul Gandhi. In the meantime, a few days ago, Mr. KCR went and spoke to this. There was a question of all the chief ministers getting together. In fact, KCR was supposed to be speaking to MK Stalin of the DMK. So there's a lot of movement going on, and there's also a lot of immovable objects and irreconcilable irresistible forces and Trinamool Congress. I wonder how they could get on if they form a Gathbandhan. And then we have here the face of Chandrababu Naidu as also Jagan Reddy. They are at daggers drawn in Simandhra. Yes. I do not know how and whether they will get on. So this is all exploratory talks. I don't think at this moment we can afford to take to speculate too much. But there is one overwhelming thought, and that I agree with, which is what Arvind Kejriwal in his characteristic fashion has articulated, which is to get rid of 2 people, that is Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, because it is fairly clear that large numbers of the opposition parties are antipathetic towards these 2. I don't know even how many in the BJP would be openly, of course, would not be openly opposed to them, but how many of them actually love these two dearly?
Well, if Mr. Sen says we shouldn't speculate too much, he really takes the fun out of election coverage, doesn't he? What else are we supposed to do until the 23rd of May, really? Mr. Rao, that comment about the fact that there might be people inside the BJP who might want different leadership, how realistic is that?
Yes and no. Okay. Supposing if BJP falls too much short and it goes below 225 mark, then the party would definitely require alliance partners plus outsiders. In that case, those are outsiders. Say, for example, Mamta-like things, or Chandra Babu, or Nitish Kumar. Nitish Kumar is part of that.
Naveen Patnaik.
Yes. Or KCR. If they want that type of party force, then definitely they would like to see that you have a weak prime minister. I'm using the word weak prime minister. Modi is considered to be a strong prime minister, determined prime minister, demanding prime minister. So they would know the opposition from there. Plus, those disgruntled forces, elements within many of them would also like to see that Modi is out of power. For example, within BJP, I would not mind even taking the names, like people like, say, Sushma Swaraj. Or people like your Home Minister,
Rajnath Singh.
Rajnath Singh. They would not like to be with Modi, or they would like to see that if possible, if Modi is out, then fine. Nitin Gadkari would like Modi to be out. So these people would not like to see Modi in. So, but out of sheer compulsion, if they have to be there. Given a chance.
While the BJP fights as a single machine or a single monster really, or a robot, there is rumbling inside.
No, so look, every political party has three kinds of characters. One are the loyalists, one are the ambition holders, and the other are the deal makers. So just to give you an example, say somebody like an Amar Singh Samajwadi Party was a deal maker.
Yes.
So, but you have equal amount of loyalists as well. Sheila Dikshit is a loyalist of Congress. She's never going to get, hostile and walk away from the party. She just owes everything, and her personality is more of a loyalist personality. But you also have ambition holders, and there are a large number of ambition holders who may wait and bide their time and not say anything or appear to be loyalists because it suits at that point of time. But once the opportunity arrives, the hammer is brought down.
You didn't give us an example of ambition holder.
Well, no, in every party. Look, in BJD, for instance, Pyari Mohan Mahapatra was a very powerful man.
Yes.
And the minute Naveen Patnaik found out that he's growing ambition, he was cut to size. I mean, Dayana Mukherjee was one of them, N.D. Tiwari was one of them. Chidambaram was one of them.
Yes.
They've all, at one point in time, shown those ambitions to move away.
Yes.
And it can well happen even in the BJP, who knows?
Urmilesh, obviously, I'm going to ask you about the SP and the BSP. Just perhaps people who fancy themselves as kings. Do you think, do you think the SP-BSP alliance will stay after the election results are announced? Or do you think they'll wind up on one side of these various fronts that are coming up right now?
देखो, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अभी इलेक्शन के बाद तत्काल इनके बीच में दूरियां बढ़ जाएंगी या स्प्लिट कर जाएगा ये अलायंस। इसके आपने जो बीच में एक बयान दिया यूपी के किसी रैली में कि वो लॉजिक नहीं दिखता, क्योंकि एक नई बात उत्तर प्रदेश में ये हुई है, जो लोग थे ये सीपीएम की तरह या आरएसएस की तरह कोई कैडर बेस्ड पार्टी तो नहीं है, बीजेपी की तरह काफ़ी उनका सोशल बेस है। तो इनके सोशल बेस में एक रहा है कि भाई हमारे अलग अलग होने से जो एक आरएसएस की अगुवाई वाली एक बीजेपी नाम की इतनी बड़ी छोटी पार्टी इतनी बड़ी पार्टी बन गई, एसपी और बीएसपी की लीडरशिप को उसने मजबूर किया कि आप साथ आइए। और बहुत सारे घटनाक्रम है, कोरेगांव से लेकर के इसके पहले रोहित वेमुला की हत्या। तो मुझे लगता है कि जो एससी कम्युनिटी जो है और जो यूनिटी हुई काफ़ी हद तक, और उसने प्रेशराइज किया इन दोनों को सोचने के लिए। फूलपुर में और गोरखपुर में और कैराना में, इन तीन जगहों पर सबसे पहरेंगे भी, तो मुझे लगता है कि वो बहुत बाद की स्टेज में होगा। मे बी इन परिस्थितियां ऐसी बदल जाएं कि वो एक साथ रहने के लिए मजबूर हों।
Well, Vivek, here's the thing. So, up until now, when we talked about a third front bearing in, the Congress was part of that front, so that was no longer a third front. It was just the opposition. Now it seems like With Chandrababu Naidu fronts, do we have?
I mean, see, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you know, one of the two large parties work out. So that's not.
So you don't count any of these other fronts. So how do we make sense of the conversation? For example, KCR is happening.
So it's basically, you know, at the end of the day, exit polls sort of, you know, come out in the open, and you know, you get a fairly good idea of who's where. I mean, then I think if there is a chance, all these communications will start coming together. So I mean, right now it's all everyone's sort of throwing, you know, darts in the air. So
Yes.
Chandrababu Naidu, after Delhi's visit, he's gone to Calcutta. He's going to attend 2 rallies with Mamata tomorrow. So he's also doing. Look, there are always wheels within wheels. So some people, whether it's 4th or 5th, are also talking to other partners in the states because they want to increase their bargaining power. If I have 2 people with me, my bargaining power improves vis-a-vis even a third front. So everybody is now looking for a higher and a bigger bargaining chip because ultimately it's going to be about hard bargaining. Everyone is
So the truth is, we're not going to have a. This is going to be. It sounds. All of this sounds like long negotiations.
That depends entirely on how short the BJP is from the 272.
Yes, how short the BJP is.
I
And
mean,
Mr. Raut said anything less than 250 will involve negotiation.
Yeah.
But if they get to 250, then it's a straight run to Rashtrapati
It's a
Bhavan.
straight run. If any would reach the 250 mark, it means that group or that party that forms the government.
And it
Because
seems more
they have
likely
short
that
of
be the
23
NDA,
seats.
right? Yes.
And that means it will come to minority government, which we have tradition. We are presidents of minority government. So that government will sit in the power.
I peg this figure much lower than 250 actually. I mean, if in my book, if the BJP gets, even if they get between 210 to 220, they should be in a pole position.
I mean, around 200 is where you know,
That's the
there will be a
magic
problem. So.
So, okay, so now let's look at the list that's on the screen again of the kingmakers. And here's my question. Let's assume the BJP is adding short. Which of these on the screen do you think are likely allies for the NDA if the NDA is short of a small number
3
of
very
seats?
clearly. I mean, you can see whether it's Jagan Reddy or whether it is TDP or whether it is TRS. I mean, all 3 are likely potential supporters. So is perhaps BJP.
You believe that Chandrababu Naidu might go back into an alliance with the BJP after he walked out?
If
in
he gets a deal, he will. I think
Okay.
it's all about whether he gets a deal for his state because it helps him in his politics in the state. It's about his. Look, he did the same thing with Vajpayee. He managed so much of special funds from the government when Vajpayee was the prime minister because they had a special status. I mean, they were supporting the government and they extracted their pound of flesh. He didn't win him an election, but the fact is he did extract quite a lot.
Vivek?
Yeah, I mean, see, it all depends on, you know, one is who the president invites. So the moment the president invites the BJP to form the government, I mean, they are already in pole position. So, so that also, you know, that makes a huge impact. The second thing is, I mean, if you look at, I mean, Chandrababu Naidu or even Chandrasekhar Rao, I mean, these guys have ambitious plans for their states. I mean, if you go to a place like Vizag or you go to a place like Hyderabad, I mean, you know, the kind of construction that is happening there is mind-boggling.
Amravati.
Yes. Amravati, from
So,
scratch,
you know,
yes.
where is this, you know, this money is going to come from somewhere, right? So, and if the state governments are given some sort of special treatment, I mean, why not?
So there's a question of Bharat Joshi. He says, when it comes to calling the most favorable party, will the president show loyalty towards his own party? Now, the president is a constitutional position. He's not supposed to have any party. But is there a reason to believe that he will still...
Yes, that could be a natural tendency. I hate to believe that, but there is always a natural tendency to go. President being coming from RSS background and he is he was a BJP MP for 2 terms. So definitely he would have a soft corner for that, but that does not mean that it would.
It's not a foregone conclusion.
No, it cannot be.
Vivek?
No, I mean, I disagree. I mean, why is that even a question? So,
Okay.
I mean, it reminds me of a very old cartoon, I think in the 70s, where Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed was the president and he's shown to be in a bath. And there is an ordinance which comes in and he signs it and sends it back. So, I mean, presidents in India typically tend to go with whoever has elected them. I mean, I don't see that.
No.
I don't. Yes, I mean, if
Then in that case, it is not a foregone conclusion that BJP will come to power.
yes, but then so.
Vinay?
No, I think the other reason I agree with Vivek. I think the bigger reason is there is a greater amount of precedences available for calling the single largest party. It's a safe decision to take.
Yes.
It's a safer decision. And hence, to imagine that the president will show a courage to not call the single largest party because from 96.
Yes.
The opposition will, you know, need to take all its MPs to a resort and lock them up.
Yeah, that's
there are different precedents also with this. When 1980, when Janata Party split,
Yes.
That's
and
right.
those,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, and when every opportunity to go for the head count, yes. And then when Chauhan said that no, I cannot form the government, then he looked for the third option. So, and Charan Singh became the Prime Minister. At that time, Nizam Sajju Reddy did not use his discretion and saw to it that there should be a stable government, reasonably stable government, what the Kaul Shakdar company says. But he went.
Rishi, if you, whatever you wanted to come in with, and I also want to bring the question of Mamata Banerjee. Also, tremendous ambition to become Prime Minister. I have people writing to me right now saying, you know, she'd be charismatic, and they're using other flowery adjectives for her. What are your what is your assessment of Mamata Banerjee, Urmilesh?
नहीं, ममता बनर्जी को जितना मैं समझता हूं या उनकी पॉलिटिक्स को, उसके हिसाब से वो आज की तारीख में इस पे ज़्यादा उनका जोर नहीं होगा कि वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने अगर किसी विपक्षी गठबंधन को सरकार बनाने का मौका मिलता है। उनका मकसद होगा किसी तरह की ज़्यादा नासमझ हैं कि उनके पास अगर नंबर नहीं भी होगा, अगर 40-50 नंबर नहीं आता है, जो नहीं आएगा किसी के पास, आज तक सोच सकता है। दूसरे लोग शायद सोच भी ना पाएं, क्योंकि इसी के नीचे पक्ष की सरकार बनने की नौबत पैदा होती है। मैं बिल्कुल प्रेडिक्शन ऐसा नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं एक काल्पनिक स्थिति की बात कर रहा हूं कि अगर ऐसा होता है तो ऑल मेजर अपोजिशन पार्टीज आर फेड अप विद दिस प्रेजेंट लीडरशिप ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट। और दूसरी बात, जो इन रिसेंट ईयर्स what we have seen in parliament or in governance कि वो सबसे ज़्यादा ऑब्जेक्टिव थी, और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और कॉल शक्दर की बात अभी कर रहे थे, उनकी जो गाइडलाइंस हैं, उनके जो जिन्होंने बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट किए, कोई फेल किया, कोई नहीं किया, मौजूद लांग पाएंगे मैं नहीं जानता इस बारे में। इस बारे में कोई अंदाज लगाना कठिन है। लेकिन आपका जो सवाल ममता बनर्जी के बारे में है, उस पर मैं क्लियर हूं कि ममता विल बी नॉट एनडीए।
So take his line further. I want to just check rather to work in the front in which Congress is involved. Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi is involved because her they are the staunch opponent.
Yes.
So will Mamata succumb to that pressure and take the leadership or take the
Wasn't she open just a year ago to be part of an alliance with them?
Ministry? Then she has been very vehemently opposing the Congress and Congress culture.
Yeah, Vivek?
Yeah. So basically, either she has to have the support of the BJP or she has to have the support of the Congress. So between BJP and the Congress, I mean, she'll choose the Congress.
No, I'm absolutely clear. It will be the Congress, so it will be the BJP in the assembly election. So there is no question that she will go with the Congress or whoever else if it means keeping the BJP out.
Right, there's another question that, let me just put this to Badshah Sen. It says, Naveen Babu, what is Naveen Babu likely to do after the 23rd? And I'll add to that, what is Naveen Babu likely to have in his hand? And yes, I'm asking you to speculate.
Well, you're asking me to speculate. Naveen Babu will certainly have the majority of seats from Odisha. There's no two ways about that. I think that is a reasonably good speculation on my part. And what Naveen Babu will do with that is very simple. He's already mentioned this in public more than once. And that is, he will go with whoever is good for Odisha. Now, there'll have to be two such things. The one is that whichever party, whether it's the BJP or the Congress, is good for Odisha. The second thing is, of course, will they have the numbers to actually perform those good actions for Odisha? So I do believe that Naveen Babu clearly is keeping his options open. He will have a fairly strong, particularly in the manner, although there is a lot of, a little bit of anger against him at the moment. I mean, more than 1 million people he moved, his government, his administration moved, or the majority of the votes, at least on that. He will go with whoever's on. So
Badshah Sen is right. There is anger right now on the ground in Orissa about the fact that they have no water, no electricity. People are frustrated, but that was after they voted.
Luckily for them, the voting has already happened. So
yes.
If there is anger, it won't impact.
But let's comment, and my producer is just pulling up those visuals. It'll take a few minutes, but that's it. The Prime Minister immediately went to Orissa, and they looked really close. And that was perhaps also a message that he was sending out to the rest of the opposition.
Not just did he do that, he also publicly said things about Mamata Banerjee to drive home a difference between the two. So he did that. That was part of a strategy where he appeared very cordial with Naveen Babu, very high praise for him on how it was a perfect, he used the word perfect coordination between the state.
He said the communication between Chief Minister and he called him Naveen Babu job. He complimented him repeatedly on the work that he had done in Bhubaneswar up till then. And a few...
As opposed to going and becoming a Prime Minister where he'll perhaps have to work 16
Well, if he wants to do that, he'll have to improve the... He'll have to fix that. But Mr. Raut, you wanted to come in? Naveen Patnaik, do you believe that, you know, given what we saw after the cyclone, that he's more likely to go with the BJP at this point?
I think so. The chemistry between Narendra Modi and Naveen Babu during his Narendra Modi's visit to see the affected area. I think that chemistry speaks a lot of things more than the words. Their gestures, their body language. That speaks for a long time that he is coming closer to Narendra Modi.
But there's also a state election, and Dharmendra Pradhan has been working for a very long time to be the CM candidate. What happens to that state election if there's an alliance between the BJP and Naveen Patnaik?
Yeah, I mean, that's also one of the things that will come up. That's an equation that will have to be considered because we don't know, or none of us are talking about what will happen in the assembly election results because they'll come out simultaneously.
Because also, I mean, so let's also consider that switching sides for her will become uncomfortable.
That's right, 3 years still. But I mean, Odisha is right now,
Odisha is right now. All right. We seem to have run out of time. Unfortunately, this was a quick conversation, but it's very interesting. And needless to say that nothing right now is set in stone. I don't think anyone can really stick their necks out and say which way.
Yes.
Yes.
No, as I said, if Inder Kumar Gujral could have become the Prime Minister, anyone can. So.
Anyone.
There are many such minority prime ministers in India. Charan Singh was there. Charan Singh was having 26 seats.
No, but Charan Singh still had a lot of political support. I mean, I.K. Gujral's political support was...
It's going to be really interesting. And it's not just on the 23rd, perhaps a couple of days after that as well, it's going to be interesting. Second thing is, if you like the pace of this conversation with the same group of people and try and understand what is going on calmly, intelligently and with good humor. So stay with Mirror now for the entire election process and for the through and through until the 23rd and maybe a little bit after that as well. Thanks for...